All right, there are some financial rules that you can stick to that'll really bolster your financial future if you just stick to these simple rules. I got 16 of them, okay? They're on a piece of paper in front of me. Can't wait to get into it. First of all, I'm glad you're here. I'm Austin. I'm a stock market investor, and I'm a co-owner of cloudmusicsuite.com, okay? Thank you for subscribing before the first 100 subscribers. As a thank you for that, I'm gonna show you a picture of my kitty cat. She's right over here off camera. She loves to stay in the room while I'm recording videos, all right? We'd love to hear it. Also, if you're looking to get some stock picks, if you're a stock picking type guy, check out the pinned comment down there. I've got a Patreon portfolio where you can see every single move I make inside that portfolio. It's really cool, really awesome, fun thing to be a part of. So check it out. All right, let's get into this. First one, track your income and your expenses every single month. This is gonna unlock a lot of stuff that you're maybe spending more money on than you wanna be spending money on, and it's gonna show you how much money you're making on a monthly basis from all your side income, from your W-2 job, from your own business, etc. So you'll start to learn a lot, and you can start to have a catalyst for why you wanna change your actions if you're tracking your income and expenses on a monthly basis. All right, next up, we're just going rapid fire. Avoid high interest rate debt and avoid monthly payments as much as possible. The more high interest rate debt you have, that stuff can be crippling because it's like impossible to get in front of it. It's like this big snowball that's moving in the wrong direction. You don't want to accumulate more and more debt, but if you're paying like a minimum payment on a high interest rate debt, you might be accruing more debt. The balance total might be going up each month rather than down. Super crazy, like some of those predatory student loans and payday loans and even some personal loans. So try to avoid that. And then just any monthly payments. I don't care what it is. If it's for Xbox Live, I don't care. Avoid the monthly payments. If it's for Netflix, whatever it is, credit monitoring. People pay for crazy stuff on a monthly basis. Try to avoid monthly payments as much as possible. All right, next up. Have an emergency fund that is only for emergencies in a separate account. Very much a liquid account, meaning it's cash, not literally paper cash, but it's just money sitting in a bank account, ready to be deployed at any moment in case your car breaks down, in case you have to go to the emergency room, in case you need a new roof, you have some kind of situation happen with your house, one of your loved ones needs help, etc. Have a good amount of money set aside for emergencies, minimum $1,000, maximum 12 months of living expenses. That will be my, anywhere in that range. That's a massive range, I know, but anywhere in that range, that's up to you for you to determine. So minimum 1,000, maximum 12 months of living expenses. Big range, it's up to you. Next up, invest in the markets, invest in public markets, okay? I prefer to invest in the stock market. You can do this either actively by choosing to pick stocks like Peter Lynch would, and that's kind of what he explains in One Up on Wall Street, the book behind me. Or you can do it passively, right? Through index funds. You could buy the S&P 500, you could buy QQQ, which is the NASDAQ ETF, etc. There's so many different ETFs that track the market, or even mutual funds that track the market. So you can go passive or active on that. There's all kind of videos on that, so I'm gonna move away from that one. Okay, have some way of making money outside of your 9-to-5 job. Most people work a 9-to-5 job. I think a 9-to-5 job can be a good thing, good tool to help build wealth and keep you secure. But have some way of making money outside of that 9-to-5 so that maybe someday you can completely replace that 9-to-5 with your side work, or you can just have a little extra money on the side to save for a vacation, save for an emergency fund, invest into the stock market, invest into a rental property, etc. It's up to you what you do with it, but make sure you have some way to make money outside of your 9-to-5. Very, very important. Okay, save and invest 20% of your take-home pay. Minimum 20% save and invest. This can be different for different periods of your life, different seasons of your life, different times of year. So saving and investing, I'm putting them into one thing. They're really not one thing. Saving, I keep it in cash. I put it in a savings account or a CD account, or even a checking account sometimes. You can hold money in a checking account for savings purposes. Investing, I'm buying real estate, I'm buying stocks. One of those two would be our best investments, or potentially buying gold if you view that as an investment. Okay, 20% minimum in terms of take-home pay. All right, next one up, spend money on health sooner rather than later. The way I view this is you're gonna have to spend money on health at some point. Either it's going to be after you've destroyed your body and destroyed your brain, and you're going to have to pay people a bunch of money and buy a bunch of prescriptions to make yourself feel okay in your later in life, Or you can spend the time and energy and money now, and you probably won't have to spend all that time, money, and energy later on your health. I just see it as like, when do you want to spend the money on your health? You want to do it now, you want to do it later? I say do it now, because you'll have health and you'll have a little bit more money later in life. Okay, next one. Invest early and invest often. Compounding needs time, so invest as early as you can. Even if you have small amount of income right now, invest $20 a month, invest $50 a month, invest $100 a month. I know those are small numbers, but they can add up to huge amounts of money over time if we're able to get them compounding. Even if you're just buying the index, right? Buying the S&P 500, buying VT, which is a total US stock market. So invest early and often. I'll just leave it at that, okay? Early and often. Compounding needs time, all right? Delay lifestyle increases. It's really hard to pull back on your lifestyle once you've kind of jumped up to that next level in terms of lifestyle. It's really, really, really hard. For example, if you are a person who flies a lot and you're always flying, regular class, commercial class, and you just decide one time to fly first class, it's gonna be really hard for you to come back down from first class down into the regular seats again, all right? To get the regular service again. So delay those lifestyle increases as much as possible. It's gonna be really hard for you to go from a 2022 vehicle to a 2005 vehicle. Very different feeling cars, right? So once you get used to a certain lifestyle, it's really hard to go back down to a different lifestyle. So I would say delay those lifestyle increases as much as possible. Don't buy the luxury handbag, okay? Wait. I know it's something you want. Wait, all right? That would be my only thing there. Delay lifestyle increases, or just don't do them at all. Anyway, okay. Buy quality, speaking of buying things, buy quality pieces of clothing, not luxury pieces of clothing. But the reason we want to buy quality pieces of clothing that might cost a little bit more is so that they last a really long time. I've had this shirt for a very, very, very long time. Okay, it's Ralph Lauren, Polo Ralph Lauren. It's a little wrinkled right now, but I've had this shirt for a very, very, very long time. And I'm gonna have it for a lot more years. I couldn't say that if I went to, Plato's Closet only to buy my clothing. Like, I've bought things from Plato's Closet before, or some of these like secondhand stores. They're just, first time I put them through the wash, they start to rip up. They start to get, the stitching starts to undo, It's just not the best material. And then I'll have to go buy it again, and it becomes this habit of like continually having to go buy new clothing or new old clothing or used clothing. So buy some quality pieces so that you have them for a good amount of time. All right, when it comes to budgeting, you should probably have some form of a budget. I would say be conservative with how much income you're gonna make. Don't estimate too high. And then in terms of expenses, be liberal. Estimate too high on how much you're going to spend at the grocery store. Estimate too high on how much you're going to spend on gas. Estimate too high how much you're going to spend on daycare for your children, etc. So that you basically are seeing the worst case scenario. If I lose a little bit of my income because my side work dries up or something like that, and I have to pay a little bit more at the grocery store or pay a little bit more at the pump, then I'm not going to be so hamstrung because I already prepped for that in my budget. So I would say be conservative with your income, be liberal with your expenses when budgeting, okay? Next up, don't buy a new car. Don't buy a new car. Don't do it. Don't buy a new car. The depreciation curve on new cars from like year 0 to year 10 is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Look it up. I'll put an image on the screen. Okay? Next up, compartmentalize your money for different purposes. Don't go crazy with this, but if you have a mortgage, or if you have a house, I should say, you have a mortgage probably, and you have utilities, and you have some kind of emergency savings for your house, hopefully. So I like to put it in totally separate accounts. I fund my separate accounts with money so that it gets auto drafted out for the mortgage, auto drafted out for the utilities. I just know in general probably how much money that's going to be. I put that money in there every single month. I have a few months of backlog in that as well, so that I really don't have to think about it. I don't have to make the decision to keep all my money in my checking account and then, oh, now I'm going to pay out my mortgage from my checking account. Now I'm going to pay out my utilities from my same checking account. Now I'm going to buy groceries from the same checking account. I don't want to do all that. I want to take that money, put it into a compartment that is meant for my house, okay? So I call it house checking. in the house checking. All the things for the house come out of house checking, okay? And then I can keep my own personal checking for like food and gas, car repairs, etc., right? Going out to eat, whatever the case may be. So compartmentalize your money as much as possible without getting too crazy. If you want to save for a vacation, you can make a separate bucket inside of like an Ally bank account for a vacation fund, or you could open another checking account or savings account for that. All right, next one, use credit cards for the 30-day free loan that you get. I'll explain in a sec, and for the cash back or points or whatever the situation may be. Only caveat with this, never ever pay a single cent of credit card interest. You don't have to pay credit card interest. You don't have to pay the minimum balance. Just pay the whole thing off every single time you get the statement, or even before you get the statement. You can use it, wait for the transaction to post, pay it off. Use it, wait for the transaction to post, pay it off. You don't need to pay a single cent of credit card interest. I never have, and I never will. I don't spend money I don't have, but I do take advantage of cash back, points, and I also take advantage of the 30-day free loan. So I can have my money sitting in my checking account or my savings account getting like a 3% interest rate at SoFi or Ally, and I can wait until the statement cycle's due to pay off my credit card. I haven't had any interest charges at all. I've had my money sitting in my checking account or my savings account that whole time, and I didn't have to pay until 30 days after I made this purchase. Sometimes it's up to like 60 days, right? Because if I make a purchase on January 1st, those purchases don't post for me to pay them until January 30, right? And then I don't have to pay them until the end of February. So sometimes you can get up to a 60-day loan. It depends on where you are in the billing cycle. If that doesn't make sense, I have a video on this channel that explains it. Okay, never stop gaining marketable skills. This is either going to increase your income at your job, or it's going to increase your ability to have more side income, or both. So never stop gaining marketable skills. Take some courses, research things, be on your craft, like figure out how to get better at your craft so you can be more valuable in the marketplace. Never stop, never stop. Okay, and then last one, learn a little bit. It's tax time, right? Learn a little bit about how to save money on your taxes. You won't regret it. It's nice to not have to pay so much tax. If you're in a situation where you're still getting a tax refund, that's not always how it's going to be. Probably there's probably going to be a day where you have to pay come tax time. So I mean, hopefully. So yeah, learn a little bit about how to save some money on taxes. You will not regret it, I promise. Okay, that's all I got for you. I think that was 16 short financial rules for a great financial successful life. If you want to learn more about the stocks specifically that I'm picking, speaking of, one of these was about investing, 2 of them were about investing, I've got a Patreon link in the pinned comment down there and in the description. You can watch every single move I'm making in there, every buy, every sell, every deposit, everything, all right? Hope you enjoyed it. Share this one with a friend. Love you, and bye-bye.